Hello, everybody. Oh, Article 1 of the Constitution. This is where the Constitution really begins. It wasn't placed first by accident. It wasn't a suggestion. It was a warning, a safeguard, the foundation of our entire system, because the Founding Fathers knew that the greatest threat to this country would come from within, from a leader who believed they were above the law. Imagine waking up one morning to find that your rights, your freedoms, your very way of life, gone. Not because of an invasion, not because of war, but because one man decided he had more power than the Constitution allows. Because Congress failed to act. Because the American people forgot who really holds the power. Article 1 is the firewall against tyranny. It gives power to Congress, not the president. The president is not a king. They cannot make laws. They cannot spend money without approval. They cannot declare war. The power lies within the people's representatives. And if we forget that, we risk everything. The president doesn't make any laws. Article 1, Section 1 states, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. All legislative powers, that means only Congress, the people's representatives, can write and pass laws. The president can sign them, veto them, or enforce them, but they cannot create them. When a president tries to bypass Congress with executive orders that act as laws, they are violating the very foundation of this country. And what about money? Article 1 gives Congress the power of purse, not the president. That means Congress decides how taxpayer dollars are spent. When Trump tried to take military funds for a border wall that Congress refused to approve, he was stepping outside his power. And the courts struck him down, because Article 1 is the final word. Now here's where it gets real. What if a president wanted to use the U.S. military against its own citizens? Could they? No. Not legally anyway. Not without Congress. Article 1, Section 8 gives Congress control over the military. It states, the Congress shall have power to raise and support armies, to make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces. That means Congress decides when and how the military is used. And the Posse Comitatus Act, backed by Congress, Article 1 powers prevent the president from using the military as domestic police force. The president can't just send the army into the streets because they don't like protests, because they want control, because they feel threatened. Now, there is the Insurrection Act, which allows the president to deploy the military in extreme emergencies. But here's what they don't tell you. Congress can revoke it. Congress can cut funding. Congress can stop a president from turning our military against us, because that power is not the president's. It is the people's through their elected representatives. But what if a president ignores these limits? What if they seize power, defy Congress, and act like a dictator? Then Congress removes them. Article 1, Section 2 states, the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment. And Article 1, Section 3 makes it clear. The Senate shall have the power, sole power, to try all impeachments. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. If a president abuses their power, if they ignore Congress, defy the law, or use the military against the people, Congress can and must remove them. That's why Trump was impeached twice. Because the House saw a president overstepping his authority. The Senate ultimately let him stay. But that process, that power, is there to remind every president that they are not above the law. What happens when Article 1 is ignored? When Congress refuses to act? When a president tests the limits and no one stops him? We've seen it before. In history books, in fallen democracies, The moment a leader realizes no one will stop them is the moment democracy dies. Article 1 is not just ink on a page. It is the guardrail between freedom and tyranny. If that guardrail falls, the Constitution falls with it. And once it's gone, there's no going back. We cannot let that happen. Stay aware, America. Know your rights. Know the Constitution.